This is the Mount Zion Baptist Church that if you've seen any of the Black Wall Street videos in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the massacre in 1921 massacre, and you see the church that's burning, this is the church that was burning. They burnt it to the ground. All of this has been changed. This is all neighborhoods, and now it's, of course, you can see the freeway going over. They just took over our land and bought my father's house out right down the street. All of this was neighborhood, black neighborhood. Now it's all businesses and schools, and which is not a bad thing. It is progress, but it's nothing like it was for the black community that lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But it's all of our history. There we go. Mount Zion Church. We would reduce the charred, smoldering wood.
This is what you're saying.
Exactly. Mount Zion Baptist Church completely reduced to charred, smoldering ruin during Tulsa's infamous race riot, June 1st, 1921. It was rebuilt and dedicated as a monument to faithfulness and perseverance, October 21st, 1952.
Wow.
It's open.
And say you used to live where now?
I lived one block down on the right.
And you used to walk to a store. Where the store was?
The store was on this corner where Oklahoma State University is. There was the grocery store right there that I would go to as a kid. And my elementary school is where the parking lot is now. It's Charles S. Johnson Elementary School. Everything is gone now.
Wow.
Which it couldn't stay the same, but it could have been purchased the right way instead of burning us out.
Yeah. You guys getting a great tour. Thank you, Miss Wilson. All right.
Church.
And where was the fire that the photos I just took?
The back.
The back side.
They built it up now. It's a gym and everything in there.
And when did they build it back?
I'm not sure, because I moved away, you know.
Okay. Did Ronnie go to this? Was Ronnie part?
Ronnie lived off of Pine, which would be, you know, Greenwood.
Pine is right over there in that area.
Pine is just north of Greenwood.
The P in the Gap.
P in the Gap. It's
Wow.
like we have to go all the way down. They built this all. Okay, this is Vernon AME, historic Vernon AME. It was founded in 1920. They burned it down in 1921 through the Black Wall Street massacre. They burned it down. The first floor was up, and then they built it back up. So it's historic Vernon AME. It's all black. It's always I was raised there, baptized there as a kid. It's a beautiful church. It was restored by Reverend Robert Turner Jr. He was the pastor for the past 4 years, and he was able to restore it through money that came in from everywhere. So we're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Come and see us.
What is this again? This is a what?
This is the John Hope Franklin Reconciliation Park in the Healing Walkway.
Healing Walkway.
Healing Walkway. This is a sculpture that is depicting the race riot, the massacre. It was made by Ed White, who is a black sculptor out of Denver. He's got all of the bronze work here.
Wow, this is awesome.
Yes.
A black sculpture.
Start with the Trail of Tears at the bottom of the
Trails of Tears, the
through.
Indians coming around.
And it tells you as you go up.
It's spiraling. Awesome. They go to different tribes of Indians. There go those cowboys here in the third tier. Awesome.
And then you got these
African American.
Yes. The guy the black guy that they grabbed him because they said he had raped a white girl. It's a lie. But Dick Rowland is the man that was working in the hotel there. He stepped on her foot, she screamed.
Stepped on her foot, she screamed.
And then they arrested him, and the rest is history because they were going to hang him. And of course, the black community was not going to stand for that. They all came, they were on Greenwood, so they all came to Greenwood there was a shot fired. I don't know who shot first, but after that, they burned us completely to the ground. There was over 300 black people died. The rest scattered to different places and never came back.
Wow.
Black businesses, there were over 1,000 black businesses on Greenwood, Archer, and Pine at the time. So the rest is history.
Wow, that's amazing. And this sculpture depicts
Big rolling with the hotels.
the hotels, smoke coming out of the hotels. I'm trying to get this. I'm gonna attempt to widen this focus group. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. That's amazing. I'm trying to take my time so all you viewers can see. Oh, this is awesome. You got their hands up. Wow. It's so detailed and wow. It's like I can't capture it. You have to come and visit. But this is awesome. Yes.
They have these guys at the top there. They were marching, but everybody with their hands up.
Everybody with their hands up at the
They
top.
had all the black people with their hands up, and they took them to the Brady Theater, and they separated the men from their families. And they put all the men in one holding place at the Brady Theater. Wives and children, they took it to another place that was not too far away, but they separated the families. After they burned everything down, they separated the families, which later it was kind of hard getting back together, but they did, some of them.
And all of this was after the massacre.
This was, as soon as they finished burning everything down, they burned everything down. They came
1921.
1921. They came back to see what was left of their homes.
Yes.
Anything that was standing was ransacked and stole all of their furs and cars and jewelry. They took everything they wanted and then they torched their homes. Then they separated everybody, the men from the families, and it was just an ugly situation. We never got any restitution. No one got any insurance money. No one. It wasn't even told, brought out until about 1992. I think they had it on 60 Minutes. And it was in no schools. We didn't read anything about it here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. As a kid, I grew up elementary, junior high, high school. They had no history of the massacre. So, but now it's out, and they're still not paying any restitution, but it's being held up in court. So, to some of the survivors, there are 3 survivors that are 103 years old, and they want the families and just all the black businesses that they burnt down. The families, the families of our ancestors need to be paid. My father had a business, a grocery store in Greenwood and Cameron. It was with the rebuilding of Greenwood. They rebuilt it, but never like it was at the beginning. And then the urban removal, as I call it, urban renewal, put a freeway through, tore everything down, bought everybody out for like $200 for our homes. This was my home right here. My home was right here on this ground. I was born right here at this very ground that I'm standing on.
You're serious?
I'm
Your
serious.
house was
I was born right here.
right here where we're standing.
North Elgin, where I'm standing.
Where you're standing is where you lived as a child.
I was born in the house.
Wow, did you hear that? Spoken from one of the legendary figures in Oklahoma.
I wasn't born in
Well,
my home.
this where your house was.
60s, this is where I grew up.
I got you. I got a little excited. Excited.
So it was fun growing up here, though. It was all black, and I really wouldn't have it any other way. Special
Awesome.
group of people here.
Gosh. And they call